If you're Gen X, congratulations. According to one major 2023 workplace survey, 67% of you report being burned out, more than millennials, more than Gen Z, more than boomers. You didn't get a participation trophy growing up, and you're not getting one for this either. Nobody warned you burnout was the reward for doing everything right. This is why Gen X is exhausted, and what actually helps. Nobody warned you about the name either. Generation X comes from a 1991 novel by Douglas Coupland, basically a name for the generation we haven't figured out how to label yet. You're sandwiched between two enormous generations, boomers and millennials, and you're also numerically a much smaller one. Fewer of you were born, which means fewer headlines, fewer surveys, fewer workplace policies built with you in mind. You also grew up as the original latchkey kids, home alone after school, while both parents worked, raised on, figure it out yourself. That builds real independence, and a generation that's really bad at asking for help, right up until the point you can't not ask anymore. Even now, marketing still treats you as an afterthought. You're the demographic every ad agency forgets to make a slide for. Here's the part nobody's marketing team saw coming. Gen X is now the actual sandwich generation. Pew Research found nearly half of adults in their 40s and 50s have a parent aged 65 or older while still raising or supporting their own kids. A 2026 survey of Gen X workers found 37% are in that exact squeeze right now, and 54% say caregiving is directly fueling burnout at work, with nearly 1 in 4 spending the equivalent of 2 full workdays a week on care, on top of their actual job. 3 in 10 say their employer offers little or no support for any of it. You're not tired because you're bad at your job. You're quietly doing 2 or 3 jobs at once, and only one is on the org chart. If that's you, say the real number out loud to your manager. I'm doing 16,000 plus hours of caregiving a week isn't an excuse, it's a data point. And most employers have leave policies for exactly this that nobody mentions until you ask. Some companies also offer backup care benefits, a subsidized emergency babysitter or elder care aide for exactly the day everything falls apart at once. And most employees have simply never heard of it. Then there's the money. A lot of Gen X hit their 30s, prime home buying, prime saving for retirement years right as the 2008 financial crisis vaporized a chunk of the economy. Home values crashed just after a lot of you bought. Retirement accounts crashed just as you started actually contributing to them. You didn't get a slow on-ramp into adulthood, you got adulthood with the floor removed. That financial catch-up never fully stopped, which is part of why 52% of Gen X caregivers say supporting family members is actively cutting into their own retirement savings, and some have delayed retirement altogether. The unglamorous fix: if you're over 50, the IRS lets you make catch-up retirement contributions above the normal limit. Most people never use them because nobody tells them they exist. Now you know. So is the fully vested 401k match you might still be leaving on the table because open enrollment paperwork is, deservedly, everyone's least favorite homework. If you're new here, heck, hit subscribe. And tap that thumbs up if this is hitting a little too close to home. Okay, back to it. At work, Gen X is disproportionately the middle management layer. Old enough to be trusted with responsibility, not yet old enough for the corner office or the golden parachute. You're the shock absorber. Leadership above wants results. Employees below want flexibility and mental health days. And you're translating between both while getting credit for neither. Add caregiving on top, and the burnout numbers stop being surprising. Here's what actually helps. Use the PTO you're not using. Most Gen Xers leave vacation days on the table every year. And if your company went hybrid or remote, that flexibility isn't just for younger employees. You're allowed to actually use it instead of quietly showing up anyway to prove a point nobody's grading you on. And if your calendar is back-to-back from 9 to 5, blocking even one recurring no-meeting hour a week isn't slacking. It's the only way anything besides meetings actually gets done. The bigger issue might be the one nobody's tracking in a survey. Gen X was raised to not make a big deal out of things. That self-reliance that got you through childhood alone after school is the same instinct now telling you exhaustion is just what being a responsible adult feels like. It isn't. Chronic exhaustion that doesn't improve with sleep, brain fog, and mood swings in your 40s and 50s can also be perimenopause or low testosterone doing the talking. Not just a packed calendar, and both are wildly underdiagnosed because everyone, doctors included, assumes it's just stress. If you've felt genuinely exhausted for months, not days, that's worth an actual doctor's visit and blood work. Not just another to-do list about self-care. A basic hormone panel takes one blood draw and rules out or confirms a real, treatable cause. Instead of just another year of blaming it on getting older. None of this means Gen X is uniquely broken. It means an entire generation got handed caregiving, a shaky economy, and a culture of silence all at the same time, and mostly just coped. The actual fixes aren't glamorous. Say the real number of hours you're spending on care out loud to someone who can do something about it. Use the benefits and the flexibility that are already sitting there unused. Get the blood work if tired has quietly become your entire personality. And drop the idea that needing help is a millennial thing. Asking for it earlier would have helped the 8-year-old version of you too. That kid figured out how to make their own dinner at 8. They can figure out how to ask for a hand at 45 too. You didn't get a participation trophy for surviving this. But you also don't have to just keep white-knuckling it either. If you want more of this, the real reasons behind what's actually burning you out and what to do about it, hit subscribe. Mythbrain is where the myths come to die.